Welcome everybody to the last CiRF report of the week. This is November 16th, 2018. I'm Chris McClary with your daily CiRF report. We're looking for the biggest collective influence that might be affecting the way you think, feel, and behave. And if you do find yourself in that situation under the influence, hopefully, if you stay for the CiRF report at the very end, you'll know exactly how to orchestrate that energy. We have quite a bit going on. And I had an interesting thing happen when I woke up today. This never happens. I found myself dizzy and kind of wobbly. No substances, not even last night, nothing, no medications, nothing. This never happens to me. I think I have the answer, especially as we look at the DreamBot first. DreamBot, we have two themes: decisions, communications, and finance. And for those of you who are new, have never seen these reports before, we are going to get to the astrology, but we tend to sometimes do the dreams first because there's a little mystery of why we're dreaming the things we do. Now, what's interesting is we're seeing the astrology coming through the collective dreams. So this helps us filter what the collective influence is. Okay? So the two themes, decisions, communication. Let's go with the red first. Decision, make, stay, gaming, messenger, moderate, procedure, submit, treat. So these are decisions and communication messages. The blue is finance, cash, lead generation, events, blowing all your money, penny, pour, and spend. So the finance is very, very clear. The decision one is a lot more convoluted, but there's clear messaging in there. There's clear communication. So what's happening? What is happening is, let's go over here, is in the astrology, this is a very blank chart, I realize. But this planet here, Venus, and this planet here, Mercury, are changing direction, both of them. Mercury going retrograde, and in retrograde is this direction on the chart, so it's going to go clockwise, and Venus is going to go direct, which is this direction, counterclockwise. In other words, they're going towards each other now. They're going to meet here. Oh, who knows? Maybe, I don't even know. Probably should have figured that out before I started the report, but I didn't. So here probably sometime in December, you're going to see these things meeting up. Unless Mercury starts to go direct prior to that meeting. So that could happen. Mercury is going to be going direct for about 3 weeks. And we'll talk about what that means in a later CiRF section. So 16 is the numerology. It's the opinion of others. It's starting to notice things about the world around you, especially with other people. And there's introspection and reflection. There's even reflection on some other things that we'll talk about with Mercury. And then it's kind of ending procrastination. So in that reflection, you start to notice what hasn't been done, and then you do it. So 16 kind of marks the just past the halfway point in the month. And that's what this ending procrastination thing is probably all about. All right, now I've shown you a little bit. We're going to talk about how to surf this stuff and what it all means next. Forgot to bring this in. This is our little chart today, and one thing that I didn't talk about in the bot run was, just really quick, look at this, these surge scores. The DreamBot basically imploded today. It only found like 12 words that had positive surge scores in it. I know that sounds kind of foreign language to most of you, but it's weird. When we're at normally like at over 100 new words, the DreamBot only found 12 words. That is an example of Mercury retrograde. So your technology It's kind of probably maybe a little disrupted. This isn't like the Uranus kind of disruption, but with Mercury going retrograde, we have communication probably a little bit more difficult. You explaining things, your thinking is a little bit more cloudy. I've had to take a couple takes on this because I just lose my train of thought. Now my dizziness this morning, I'm pretty sure was an example of Mercury retrograde. Maybe not entirely Mercury retrograde, but I can't think of anything else that was causing me to feel a little stumbly. No substances, no medications, nothing, and it never happens to me. So Mercury is a good explanation there. Now, what about Venus? Venus going direct from the retrograde situation. What is she about? She's about harmony, the close, loving relationships, but she's also about finance. It's exactly what we saw with the Dreambot. So, but the Dreambot, notice, was all about spending and poor and blowing our savings. And so that is probably more to do with Venus retrogrades. So I'm thinking that that is going to be a little bit easier when it goes direct in the next few weeks, although that flies in the face of what's happening in the real world. In the real world, we're getting to that time period where everyone's got to spend a bunch of money, you know, getting the gifts and all the holiday planning and all that. So, but I think your kind of shelter is Venus, but be watching that, be planning all that out. I would maybe creating a budget for the holidays would be a great thing to do before the holidays all happen, and especially Black Friday, 1 week away. I would make a budget if I were you, especially if you're the one who's blowing all the money already in the Venus retrograde, which is very common. And I saw a lot of my wealth disappearing for things that were very unexpected. I'll put it that way. So now, how do we orchestrate all this? Is that first and foremost, probably best to avoid big new contracts. Would not create new negotiations for big projects. I would look at old projects with the numerology of reflection, introspection, and noticing things. It would be a great time to look at old negotiations and contracts and see if anything needs to be renegotiated. That would be a good time to do it in about 3 weeks when Mercury goes direct again. Also, keep in mind that with Mercury retrograde, communication's a little bit more difficult. It's expressing your words, expressing your ideas, a little bit more difficult, and that could leave you frustrated. But with frustration, remember that goes back to Venus, and any emotion is about an interpersonal kind of phenomenon. We don't generally have a lot of emotions when there's not other people around. Well, I mean, it's related to emotion. So you might have a loneliness feeling or a sad feeling when no one's around. So it still has to do with other people. And with the frustration has to do with a feeling of separation from the other person. And so Venus comes in and direct, and that actually helps you harmonize. So my point is, when you find yourself having a hard time communicating, use that frustration for better bonding and better harmonizing. In other words, you know, you can even blame Mercury retrograde. But each emotion is a chance that I tell my couples that each emotion is an opportunity for better bonding, for a tighter harmonizing relationship, and even frustration. And so use that frustration, use that emotion for better bonding in the relationship. My gosh, I hope this normally takes like at least an hour to do this kind of talk with couples. So I hope I did it justice in 10 seconds. Let's see, what else? So no new contracts, no new negotiations, but definitely look at the old negotiations and the contracts that you currently have. Look at the projects that you've laid out for yourself and which ones are important, but you haven't done anything with them. Now is the time to do that kind of stuff. That's already, the legwork's already laid out. All you have to do is just do it. That would be a great time to do that. Spend a lot of time with your family. Your current relationships are going to get a boost, hopefully. That's what I'm hoping for you. And if you're in a healthy, loving relationship, that is. And then the finances. Finances, you have an opportunity here to heal your wallet, heal your bank accounts, and prepare for this next few months. Venus is on your side there. Okay, folks? I think that's it. There's probably a little bit more, but nothing as quite as important as what we talked about. Everyone have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday. Thanks, everybody.